Semifinals of this year's Copa Paulino Alcantara all set to kick off tomorrow. 4 teams are hitting the pitch at the PFF National Training Center in Carmona, Cavite. Up for grabs 2 slots in the Copa Championship match. The semis will begin at 4 in the afternoon between the Azkals Development Team and Stallion Laguna FC. Then at 8:15 in the evening, former champions and Copa favorite Kaya FC Iloilo will take on the newcomer, Dynamic Herb Cebu FC. And now joining us for an all-out preview of the Copa Paulino Alcantara semis is none other than our Sports Desk football analyst, Cedelf Tupas. Cedelf is also the broadcast head of the Philippine Football League. Ced, good morning. Happy Monday. Welcome back to Sports Desk, my friend.
Well, good morning, Andre. It's nice to be talking about football again on Sports Desk. I'm very happy. This is going to be a nice few days of football for all the fans of Philippine football, really.
Belated,
para sa kanila tong next few days.
Tama yon. Pero ito muna, para sa'yo to. Belated happy birthday sa'yo, Ced. Bagong gupit ka pa. Let's kick things off. Get to it right away, Ced. Group A, top seed, Stallion Laguna, will take on Group B, second placer, yung Azkals Development Team, a promising team. Now, both teams coming off wins heading into the semis. So, momentum sa kanilang pareho. Stallion defeating Cebu in their lone match. Tapos yung ADT naman, absolutely destroying Mangola over the weekend, 9-0. Talk about this matchup now. Stallion and ADT, something to look forward to.
Well, definitely a very interesting matchup for both teams. Stallion looking to rebound from a disappointing finish in the league last season, and for ADT really looking to show that they have progressed over the past year that they've been together. It's just a disappointment and really heartbreaking that they have not played a lot of games together. But we're seeing some progress in this team, and these are young players eager to impress and looking to progress in their career. So these are players who are hungry and determined and looking to make their mark in Philippine football. So motivation is there's really no shortage in motivation for ADT. But as for Stallion Laguna, there is a lot to play for. They have their AFC license now, and they could, if they go all the way, they can probably get into the AFC competition. So for sure, hindi rin magpapatalo itong team ni Coach Ernie Nieras, and although it's a slightly different team from last season, I saw a lot of promising signs in their first match against Dynamic Herb Cebu. Their backline looks solid. Abraham Placito and the Brazilian defender De Silva. Also their striker Abusi was on target, but they have to improve from that performance.
Ced?
This was the goal.
Oh, we'll try to get Cedelf back. Cedelf, can you hear me?
Whose goal in the first half
We just lost the connection of our analyst, Cedelf Tupas. But we will try to get him back, of course, because we also want to involve him in this next discussion that we will have with our guest, team captain of the Azkals Development Team, Harvey Gallowso. Harvs, good morning.
Morning, sir. Thank you for having me.
Sa wakas, natuloy na tayo, no, Harvs?
Oo nga po.
It's been a week. But Harvs, you put on a clinic during that big win, scoring 5 of the team's 9 goals. Welcome back to the show. Let's talk about that. Congratulations on making it to the semis and a huge win over Mangola. Obviously, you guys are coming hot into the semis. How ready are you, Harvs and ADT, for this knockout match against Stallion Laguna?
First of all, I'd like to thank you again, sir. We want to build on this momentum that we have now, and we're just super motivated because we have another opportunity to be in the semifinals, and we have another opportunity to show the progression of youth football in the Philippines, not just with the locals, but with also those coming from international experiences. So we're carrying a lot on our shoulders, but at the same time, we're very motivated and we're very hungry to actually just continue to compete in this level, in this stage in our local competition.
I believe, Harvey, we have Cedelf Tupas again, our football
Okay.
analyst. He's back on the line, and he might want to ask you a question. Cedelf, are you there? There is Ced. We just lost you. Yeah.
Sorry, sorry about the technical
No
difficulty.
problem. Said-
Online classes.
It's
Joke.
okay.
I'm just joking.
Grabe ka. Ced, may tanong ka kay Harvey?
I've spent a lot of time with Harvey over the last few months, but
Yeah.
I really it's still a question I want to ask him. After all the changing in his roles in different positions in his teams that he played for, how comfortable is he now with the position that he's playing in ADT? He shifted from left back, left wing and everything, and now he's back at the striker's position and looking like he's sharper as ever.
It definitely felt good playing on top, being given the confidence to actually just do my job and score goals. It felt good to be back. It felt good to be playing on top again. But I do feel like they gave me the responsibility to help lead the team wherever it is. They give me the responsibility to help motivate and to push the guys. And I just have all the trust in the coaches that wherever they put me, that I'm still there to help lead the team no matter what.
Ced, what would you say yung advantage ng ADT over Stallion?
Well, I think their youth is really a big factor
For sure.
here.
Yeah, youth.
They can, Stallion is really known as a team that, fitness-wise is one of the best in the league. But I think ADT can match that with their youth and enthusiasm. They just don't stop, Andre. This team doesn't just, they might get, they might lose out on experience, but when you talk about energy and just pressing and just
Di
winning the ball
napapagod.
back and trying to up the tempo of the match, I think that is where it's going to boil down to who's gonna impose the tempo of the match, and that's where the ADT has the advantage against Stallion.
Well, mga bata pa eh. Siyempre, sabi mo nga eh. Yeah. Dapat talaga hindi mapagod tong mga batang to. Harvey, what will be your biggest concern against a really tough Stallion team?
Well, personally, looking at our team is just being complacent. Feeling that we're good enough already to compete, and that because we beat them last year, that we can beat them again. I don't want that to get into any of our heads. Aside from that, Stallions have reinforced themselves with really good players. They have new center backs, and then of course Abusi is also there, and they have good control in the midfield area. So they're going to be a really tough competition. And of course, it's the semi, so it's a different stage. It's no longer just a group stage that we're playing. It's there's something to fight for here.
Said ADT just defeated Mangola, and I was telling Harvey how they decimated that squad. 9-0, the biggest margin of any match this entire Copa so far. And this guy that we have on the line, Harvey, scoring 5 of those goals. What kind of message does this kind of victory send, especially to Stallion, now knowing that this team can put up 9 goals in one match and shut out the opponent?
Akala ko actually it was a birthday gift for me from ADT, but nonetheless.
That was for you. That was for you.
But yeah, that's a strong message, definitely. The team of ADT has gone through a lot over the past few months, especially with some of their under 23 players in Singapore losing all those 3 matches. So they've come here with a point to prove in the league, and it also just so happened that they have a very good leader in Harvey and a really good goal scorer in Harvey as well. So I think it's taken a while for them to put it all together, but with they have the right ingredients now with the leadership aspect of this squad, and that shows you how if you mix some really good talented young players with someone who's played at the highest level like Harvey, it's really a force to be reckoned with, and that shows you that the ADT program is also progressing. Unlike some may say that because of those setbacks in Singapore, we were it is not doing well. But when you see a scoreline like that, it's hard to put. I know it may seem like Mangola did not also play well, but they still had to score 9 goals, Andre. So that's still full credit to them. They played up until the final whistle in that match.
Yeah, not to take anything away from Mangola, but Harvs, come on now. He didn't have to do that. 5 goals and then 9-0. Talaga bang regalo nyo kay Cedelf yun? Di ako naniniwala.
It was our opportunity to build our confidence. We came from a loss, and I just kept telling the guys that I wanted more. I wanted more, no matter what the scoreline is. That I just wanted more. So we did whatever it took to just be able to, not only make a statement, but to just get their confidence back.
Andre, I have to mention that actually Harvey scored the complete hat trick. He scored with his left, scored with his right foot. And he scored with his head as well. So that is a complete hat trick. Left, right, foot, and then header, and then 2 penalties.
It was a complete gift for Cedelf Tupas. I'm still trying to...
All for you.
Put my head, wrap my head around that. Said, before we let Harvey go, what will be the keys to winning for both? Tingnan natin yung parehong squads, yung keys to winning for both Stallion and for ADT.
Well, for me personally, ADT, they just have to use their energy and really press Stallion up until the end. I know Stallion allowed Dynamic Herb Cebu to play a little bit in the second half, and there was a time really when Dynamic Herb Cebu had a chance to get to score. There was a stretch there they were very likely to score, but they held firm with their back line, but and that's going to be key for Stallion as well. How the back line copes with the speed of the attackers of ADT, and also their experience. They have ADT has a lot of young players, but Stallion holds the edge in experience. Nate Alquiros is in the middle. He'll play a very important role in shutting down someone like Sandro Reyes, who's been pulling the strings incredibly well for ADT, especially in that Mangola game.
Narinig mo Harvs, Did you pay attention and take down notes from Cedelf?
I took note of it. Thank you.
Harvs, thank you.
Ingat ka bukas, Harvey. Ingat ka bukas. Mabigat ka salamat.
Harvs, thank you again for joining us. And huwag ka magsawa.
Thank you.
Yeah, just always join the show. The doors of Sports Desk always open to you, kid. Keep on doing what you do best on the pitch, man.
I appreciate it.
Good luck, Harvs.
You're a fun player to watch on the pitch. Harvs, thank you. Again, we just had Azkals Development Team Captain Harvey Gallowso.
Have a nice day, guys.
You too. Happy Monday to you. Said, inom ka muna ng tubig. Pahinga muna tayo sandali. Cedelf and I will continue our discussion on the Copa Paulino Alcantara semis after a really quick break. We'll talk about the showdown between former champion Kaya FC Iloilo and newcomers Dynamic Herb Cebu FC. Back to Sports Desk only here on CNN Philippines. We still have with us today Sports Desk football analyst Cedelf Tupas, and Sed and I have been talking about the semifinals of the Copa Paulino Alcantara, which will kick off tomorrow. Said Kaya FC Iloilo taking on the newcomer in this tournament, Dynamic Herb Cebu FC. Alam natin ang Kaya, Said. Pinag-uusapan natin yan over the phone last week. And alam natin na sila ang favorites talaga in this tournament. How will Cebu stack up against a really good squad in Kaya?
Well, Cebu really has to contain all the lethal Kaya attack right now. I think Joven Bidik was on the show. I watched that interview, and there's just a newfound swagger and a newfound confidence in the squad. Regardless if UCFC is not there, they mean business. They really wanna make a statement. This Kaya side. So Cebu as a newcomer, try to frustrate Kaya. Easier said than done. But they have to stay strong defensively. It's not going to be easy because this Kaya team can hurt you in so many ways right now. They're playing a very dynamic and free-flowing style of football under Coach Yoshide. So that's something that Cebu has to look out for and also take their chances. Cebu had a good stretch against Stallion, and they were not able to cash in on some good opportunities, especially in the first half. and early in the second half.
Well, now joining us, Cedelf, to talk about this upcoming match is Dynamic Herb Cebu FC team captain Evren Tasci, and Evren is joining us via Zoom. Evren, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning. Hello.
Thank you for
Hi,
joining
everyone.
us this Monday on Sports Desk. Magandang umaga sa'yo. Gano'n na kayo ka-ready, honestly, to face Kaya? Alam natin magiging mahirap ang laban bukas, and knowing they've scored back-to-back wins, both of them shutouts.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a challenge for us. We studied a lot of the teams who are participating. We also anticipated, eventually we'll have to go up against Kaya. So in our end, we've been preparing for how many months already, and each of us are trying to improve ourselves. We're up to take the challenge. I'd confidently say that our coaches has prepared us very well for this match.
It's going to be an exciting match for sure. Said, any questions for Evren?
Well, Evren, you've it's your first time in the PFL, and
Yes.
I'm pretty sure you've played a lot of matches in Cebu. How is the step up in level for Dynamic Herb Cebu, and especially having a taste of that step up in level in the first match? How do you compare it with the way football is played? Right there when you guys are dominating in the province of Cebu, and you're the best team there, and then you move here and play in a big tournament like this.
It's definitely a big jump for us players, especially for the first timers. But it's exciting. A lot of us are very excited. I was actually just talking to the coaches and to Mr. Tasci a few days ago. I was telling them how different it is now playing professionally, playing in the big league. Back home, we had more confidence. I'm not saying we have less confidence now, but it's more like it's a bigger challenge for us. So it's definitely a new experience, but we're very motivated. We're very excited to play in this level now.
Evren, we know, well, obviously, diba, alam naman natin, and I think you will admit also that Cebu will be entering this match against Kaya as the underdog.
Yes.
Right? What can you say about this, facing a team that has played in the Champions League and is really looking poised to actually going all the way here in this year's Copa? What will be your biggest concern against Kaya when you face them tomorrow in a knockout?
I'd say our biggest concern is, of course, experience-wise. Kaya definitely has the most experience, and most of us are playing for the first time in this level of football.
Yeah.
So definitely Kaya has an advantage in experience-wise. But I think just like ADT, we also are composed of youth players and composed of Cebuano players. So we know each other pretty well. We've played with each other from different teams back home in Cebu all together. So I'd say we're also confident. We were able to put a good fight also with Stallion. So when it comes to Kaya, definitely it will be a challenge, but I'd say we're ready. We're very much ready.
Said,
We're gonna give up a good fight, definitely.
Said, anything else you want to say to Evren before we let him go?
Well, for Evren, I think just a message siguro from someone who works in the PFL and the PFF. It's just great that Dynamic Herb Cebu just really took the plunge here and came out really with their style of football against Stallion Laguna, because it's very important for Philippine football to grow, to have teams like Cebu in the provinces, and it really helps us in really promoting the game. And now kids in Cebu can look forward to playing for Dynamic Herb Cebu. They're now motivated that they can represent their province, their city in the big leagues in the presence of Dynamic Herb Cebu. So I'm really grateful to Evren, his dad Ugur, for making sure that Cebu is represented in the Philippines Football League. Thank you so much, Ugur, and I wish you all the best tomorrow. I will be there, and hopefully you score a goal, and we'll come up with a nice feature for you guys.
Thank you so much, Cedelf. Thank you.
Evren, daghang salamat sa'yo for joining us this Monday morning.
Salamat. Thank you, everyone.
Mabuhay ka. Good luck tomorrow against Kaya.
Thank you.
Maayong
so
buntag
much.
ulit sa'yo. Thank you. Again, we just had Dynamic Herb Cebu FC team captain Evren Tasci. Said, we've been talking about the Copa Paulino Alcantara semifinals with our sports desk football analyst Cedelf Tupas. Said, bago natin ituloy ang ating discussion, first let's find out the answer to our quiz question of the day. And I hope you're listening, Cedelf, sasagutin mo to. Kaya FC Iloilo won the first ever Copa Paulino Alcantara 3 years ago in 2018. Now, which team did they beat in the final? Cedelf Tupas, you have 1 second to answer.
Davao Agilas.
Ha?
Davao Agilas. Baka ba?
The
I
correct...
was there.
Kaya
I was
nga,
there in the
bakit
final.
tinitingnan ko kung alam mo? Baka di mo alam, nakakahiya ka naman. The correct answer is Davao Azkals FC, and Kaya defeated the Aguilas after extra time, di ba said? 1-0.
Yeah, Joven Bidic scored that goal.
Nice.
For, assisted by Robert Lopez Mendy.
May kodigo ka eh. And by the way, Kaya...
No. I was calling that game. That's why it was fresh in my mind. So that turned out to be the last game of Davao Agilas also.
And Kaya became the inaugural champion of the Copa Paulino Alcantara in 2018. Ngayon said, let's move on. Let's continue this discussion. Cebu, alam natin, it will be a tall task. And talagang, kumbaga, maganda nga yung sinabi mo kanina kay Evren. It's nice to have different teams from different parts of the country to be part, to build the level of football in the Philippines. Pero honestly, realistically, sa Cedelf Tupas, kaya ba talunin ng Cebu ang Kaya, and what will it take for them to upset Kaya in this knockout?
A lot. Kaya has to have a bad day, and Cebu has to have a really spectacular day. I think with the situation right now, Kaya seems to be really high on confidence, and over the last 2 games, I really it's really a showcase of their powers. They've shown that they can score in so many ways. Their players look sharp on goal. Their defenders are scoring. Their Daiso Hirikoshi is finally coming out of his shell, scoring goals, and Joven Bidic is back to his clinical best. So if there's a lot of responsibility now for Dynamic Herb Cebu to contain the attack, and thankfully for them, they have some key personnel who can handle that, can handle the pressure of a big game. They have Wako Kanyas at the back for Cebu. Wako just signed recently for them, and he is playing alongside another veteran in Jason Cordova. Jason Cordova has shown that he's really matured as a player. There have been a lot of talk about his temperament. Last game, there was a skirmish, but Jason Cordova was the peacemaker. So ang gandang sign yun for Cebu, the maturity of Jason Cordova and his leadership. I see a lot of promise as well in some of the players of Cebu. Zaldivar has caught my eye at that wing back position. Make no mistake about it, they have also some former collegiate standouts there in Daniel Gadya, Kintaro Miyagi, JB Borlongan, so and the former Kaya player Papu Corsame who starred for Arellano and grew up in Tondo. So when it comes to talent, you also cannot take this Cebu team lightly. So ang kagandahan lang talaga dito now is that for Kaya is that they really have a balanced squad now. And they can play the football that they want to at this level. Hindi natin nakita yan sa Champions League because the teams of superior quality can really just boss possession against them. But here they can now play in so many ways and they can hurt you in so many ways. Cebu really has to find a way to stop them first, to contain them first. And if there's 1 or 2 chances that will be given to Cebu, they have to take it. Otherwise, they cannot get a lot of chances against this Kaya team.
So the fearless forecast. I'll put you on the hot seat. Tell us the truth. Sino magfa-finals? Cebu, Kaya? Or sabihin mo, sino magfa-finals? Sige na, go.
I think it's gonna be Kaya and
Stallion or ADT?
Kaya lang, kaya probably and ADT if you think about it. So hopefully nobody sends this. Hopefully Coach Ernie Nieras is not watching. So,
Yari ka kay Coach Ernie.
Coach, I know it's going to be slight favorites lang ang ADT, but the Stallion side cannot be underestimated. It could go. The second game could go into extra time. There, we could be in for a very late finish in the second game.
Yeah, that will be a good one. Stallion ADT. Pero sabi mo ADT versus Kaya. So Stallion and Cebu, sana pinapanood nyo sa Cedelf Tupas right now. Use that as fuel and motivation.
Attorney, peace tayo.
Sed, maraming salamat. Always great to have you. Nice to have you back here on Sports Says. Happy Monday to you.
Thank you. Thank you so
Happy
much, my
birthday
friend.
again. See you. And that was Sports Says football analyst Cedelf Tupas.